New information this evening on what may have caused that giant billboard to topple onto a busy expressway in Brooklyn. A surveillance camera captured the huge sign as it collapsed onto the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway yesterday. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger is live in the Greenpoint section with more on what investigators are now saying. Josh?
And Sandra, a source close to the investigation, tells me right now they're focusing on the bolts that were supposed to hold that pole into the ground, but which somehow failed, causing a near catastrophe on one of the city's busiest highways. All day, workers have turned their blowtorches on the twisted hulk of steel, taking apart the downed lottery billboard piece by piece, as neighborhood residents gawked at the sight and counted their blessings.
I am so lucky that it didn't fall the other way. It probably would have fallen right on our building.
A nearby security camera happened to be recording yesterday when a wind gust toppled the 7-story billboard. It crashed onto the BQE and Meeker Avenue below.
As a public safety person who's been in this business for a very long time, I find that remarkable. And it was Friday the 13th, but it was a good day for a lot of different people that were traveling that roadway.
And as the cleanup continues, so does the search for answers. A source close to the investigation tells Eyewitness News inspectors are focused on the bolts that held the pole to the ground. At least half of them obviously failed. Meanwhile, the city confirms the billboard had been placed illegally within 200 feet of the BQE, a violation of a city statute that clearly has not been enforced here. The expressway dotted with other billboards, all just as close.
It is a miracle that nobody was hurt.
City Councilman Stephen Levin represents this part of Brooklyn and says he wants to know who's responsible for enforcing the billboard ban and, more importantly, for inspecting the structures which hold the signs up.
If we need to revisit the issue and step up fines and step up violations and look at asking the state to make real criminal prosecutions out of some of these violations, then that's what we'll do.
Was there that much winds, 40-some mile-an-hour winds? If our billboards and our infrastructure can't maintain that, that's a problem.
And coming back live right now, the crane here is to pick up what's left of this pole, really the heaviest part of it, off the roadway of the BQE. They say they hope to do that in the next couple of hours, but for now, 2 lanes of the westbound BQE do remain closed. In the meantime, we have waited all day and still have not gotten a full response from the Department of Buildings about what their inspection procedure is or why these billboards are so close to the roadway in violation of that law. From this one location, including that billboard, I can see 3 posts from here. We're live in the Greenpoint section of Brooklyn tonight. Josh Einiger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Josh, thank you so much, Amy. Topping our news this morning, crews are back to work cleaning up the mess left after a billboard collapsed on the BQE in Brooklyn. And we've learned that billboard never should have been placed so close to the highway. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson joins us live from Greenpoint with what is happening right now. Good morning, Kimberly.
Good morning, Michelle. Officials with police, fire, OEM, and the buildings department are all out here on site. They are in a meeting. This is crews start to break up and haul away what's left of that billboard. Welders on site are in cherry pickers breaking up the debris. Other officials will soon be looking at the stability of both the raised section of the BQE and also that building that was hit when this billboard collapsed. It was yesterday afternoon. Officials believe high winds were just part of the reason why this illegal billboard fell. According to the buildings department, the 20 by 60 foot sign sits within 200 feet of the expressway. That is a direct violation of zoning rules.
I just think there's no inspectors around to really, hey, look, I'm a licensed professional. Everything I do is permitted. People come and inspect my work. I don't think this was ever inspected. A guy gets a big payday just for having this in his back property, and that's how it ends.
Now, coming up at 9:30, we did get to speak with an assistant chief with the fire department in terms of why this billboard fell. Hear what he has to say. For now, we're live in Greenpoint. Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
The cold, howling winds took a dangerous turn, taking down a 50-ton billboard that crashed into the BQE in Greenpoint, and the sign came down with such force that people thought a building collapsed. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Fleischer is live at the scene of Brooklyn. Tim?
Sade, let's get you up to date. They brought in this cherry picker a short time ago. You can see the 2 men up in the bucket up there. They're equipped with torches, and they have already started to cut away the steel. You have to remember what you're dealing with here is a 7-story billboard that is precariously suspended between an auto body shop on the right and the BQE on the left. Time is what it will take to dismantle this steel structure. Brought down in an instant. The wind thought to be a contributing factor.
Just took seconds. I thought it was a bomb or something.
You can see how quick the billboard collapses in this security camera video. A Polish newspaper that rents space in a building nearby catches the moment on camera, showing the sign crashing down. That explosion of steel came as the billboard toppled, violently shaking this Greenpoint neighborhood. Some of the steel and advertising falling onto and blocking a lane on the BQE. Another large portion of the twisted support beams hanging over Meeker Avenue.
My building shook when I heard the noise, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought the building fell down.
There was a lot of noise, a lot of debris, and the next thing you know, it just boomed.
A large center pole heavily damaged an auto body shop. Fire officials do not know the exact cause of the collapse, but do believe the wind played a role.
I'm sure that was a contributing factor. At the time, winds were 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts to about 40.
And I saw my billboard was gone out the window. Uh-oh, the billboard is gone.
The high winds were also responsible for bringing down limbs. This one coming down in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx. Falling onto a car, the limb did little damage.
It was windy enough that if you would have had an umbrella, it would have been Mary Poppins out here.
Back live now in Greenpoint, where you can see those workers up there again starting to cut away piece by piece the sections of this large billboard. Once they get most of that taken away, they're also going to bring in a large crane, which is back up the block here. That crane will then be used to pull that 7-story section in pieces out of the way to try to reopen the road. Reporting live in Greenpoint, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks a lot. Well, as we just showed you, the wind knocking a billboard onto the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway. Our coverage continues right now with Tim Fleischer. He is in Brooklyn. Tim.
Liz, let me set the scene for you. This is Meeker Avenue. Well, the truck is blocking us now, but it runs parallel with the BQE. About a block down the road is where this billboard collapsed. Let's show you some of the videotape to get a much better idea. But it's a very large structure. It's on a large stanchion, and they believe it's roughly 200 feet by 300 feet. It suddenly started to slowly collapse, according to witnesses. One of them said he heard this rumble that started growing louder and louder, and then all of a sudden it then hit the ground. He said it sounded like a bomb going off. But it's miraculous when you look at the damage, as that it didn't hit anybody, didn't hit a car. Some of the debris from the billboard did land up on top of the BQE in that westbound lane, and was blocking some of the traffic. But the larger lion's share of that was down onto Meeker, where there is now a major cleanup effort going on at this hour. As you can well imagine, the traffic is awful in this area. It's pretty well jammed up, both on the BQE and down here on McGinnis and Meeker as well. That's the situation here in Williamsburg. Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Pretty scary situation there, Tim.
You already know how powerful the wind can be, and it's really powerful out there. A sign came crashing down on the BQE late this afternoon. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Fleischer, he's been following late details for us. He joins us now live from Brooklyn. Tim?
And Diana, let me set the scene for you, because here's the shot behind me here. This is what is left of this enormous billboard. It is actually 7 stories tall. It weighs 50 tons, and you can see that it is now stretched from the BQE over on top of the body shop on the right side, where it crashed down onto. It, when you see this, is miraculous that no one was seriously injured. The very large billboard, some estimate at 200 by 300 feet, took the full brunt of the high winds, it is believed. Witnesses say it first started as a growing rumble.
Next thing I saw a little bit of debris falling. That's when this whole thing just collapsed.
I had no idea what it was. My building shook when I heard the noise, so I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Others who were nearby say as it began to fall, some of the billboard fell onto the BQE, blocking a westbound lane. Most of the structure, though, came crashing down onto Meeker Avenue.
It just took seconds. I thought it was a bomb or something, but when I saw it, I figured, let me just get out of here, and I just ran this way, and that's it.
The large steel structure narrowly missed a truck and other cars parked in the area. Miraculously, it did not strike anyone either. No injuries have been reported. The fire department has also shut off gas and electric service to several buildings here in this area. They say because this thing weighs so much, 50 tons, they're going to have to bring in several large cranes, and it will certainly take some time to remove this billboard. Reporting live in Greenpoint, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.